Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United face off. Titans clash at the City Ground under the lights, 7:45 UK time on Friday, 18th of August. A must watch. Yeah, that got you drawn in. Yes, but yeah, it's my preview to Forest taking on Sheffield United at the City Ground. It is a very, very big game for both sides, and a game where hopefully, fingers crossed, Forest can get off the mark and get the ball rolling for the season. But yeah, sit back, relax, and listen to my preview as Forest take on the Blades at the City Ground. Obviously, as I said, we do take on Sheffield United 7:45 on Friday night under the lights at the City Ground. Our first home game of the Premier League season. Sheffield United's first away game of the season. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see how it does play out. Obviously, both sides did lose on the opening day by narrow margins. We lost 2-1 to Arsenal. Sheffield United lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace. So yeah, overall though, I think as I said in my review, it's up there if I remember to put it in. As I said in my review, that I don't think we played too badly. See, I've watched the highlights and I've looked at the stats and I've looked what the vibe is on social media from Sheffield United fans, and yeah, from what I've seen, it looks like they were dominated in that game. Like the stats. 30 odd shots Palace had to Sheffield United's 8. They did have a couple of good chances on the counter-attack though, from what I did see. However, it looked like Palace were very comfortable, and Sheffield United were lucky to not concede 2 or 3 goals. If it wasn't for Wes Foderingham, he was fantastic in that game. Made 2 or 3 top quality saves. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game to see how it plays out. I do think we need to be taking the game more to Sheffield United than sort of sitting off and letting them attack us, as we are the side that established ourselves last season. Sheffield United are the newly promoted side, so we've got to set the tone at our gaff. It's our home. We can't just let a newly promoted side come to our place, especially when they lost on the opening day, and just come and take the game to us. We can't let that happen. However, taking a deeper look into how the game went for Forest, 21% possession, which is a record low in the Premier League. No teams had less than that. So yeah, it's not surprising. We don't play with much of the ball, but we actually created some good chances. Brian Johnson had a one-on-one opportunity which he decided to try and dink over Aaron Ramsdale. That didn't go well. And we had another good chance from Morgan Gibbs-White in the dying moments of the game as well. And overall, we created some very good opportunities on the counter-attack. The blistering pace of Anthony Elanga proved very, very important, and the raw strength of Taiwo Awoniyi in the last 20 minutes of the game was a very, very significant factor in how we played in the end. Obviously, Arsenal did have lots of opportunities with their 80-odd% possession. They had a lot of good opportunities. Matt Turner made some top quality saves. Was very, very unlucky not to save the first goal. It was only because of a deflection off Joe Worrell, who I do think did have a very good game. Not that anyone would want to admit that, but he did have a very good game, along with Scott McKenna and Willy Bolly. However, on another day, I do think we could have got a point. On another day, at least one of the Gibbs-White shots and the Johnson chance goes in. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. It is what it is, and that Saka goal, their second goal, was just a moment of quality, and yeah, there's nothing we could have done about that goal, really, in the sense of saving it or blocking it. Obviously, as I did say a little bit earlier on in the intro, Sheffield United did lose 1-0 to Palace, and were very much comfortably out attacked, let's just say that. They did create 2 very good opportunities though. Usala, I believe is how I pronounce his name, he looked like a real threat. However, it was him and I think Traore were their 2 attackers. Other than that, literally no one else was getting forwards in counter-attacks, so they were almost getting isolated. They were hoping for a long ball from the goalkeeper, from what I saw here, and hoping just something would happen, a bit of magic almost. So if we can isolate those 2 players, almost man-mark those 2 players, I do think we are within a very good opportunity of getting a result here. However, they did struggle to control Crystal Palace's target man, Edouard. Now I'm hoping we can almost mirror that threat through Taiwo Awoniyi, another big target man as well, which half of Premier League Twitter has come to the conclusion that they want their club to sign for some reason. Even I'm not disputing that he's quality, but just fans are suddenly saying all of a sudden that they want their club to sign Awoniyi. Yes, I'm hoping we can mirror that, because Edouard, he scored the goal which got Palace to win. He also was a big threat from headers as well. So if we can get in some good deliveries towards Awoniyi, I do think we're within a very, very good chance of getting the win. And also, Sheffield United's defending for the cross that led to their Palace's goal was abysmal. So we've got to be looking at crossing the ball, because they were absolutely awful at blocking crosses. They doubled up and they still couldn't block crosses. It was baffling. Looking at Sheffield United's transfers, I'm going to start with Sheffield United because I talk about Forest quite a bit. They have been quite busy though. I'm not sure how much Premier League quality that their business will add, but they've signed a variety of far-fetched players. The most notable signing I'm going to say is Gustavo Hamer from Coventry. I imagine he will make his debut against Forest. He was fantastic for Coventry. They've also signed Traore, who did look very promising on the opening day. They've also signed Austin Trusty from Arsenal, who did have a very impressive loan spell at Birmingham City, but I don't know if he's ready for that step up yet. We will have to wait and see. They have signed a lot of far-fetched players though, due to restricting transfer funds. But the main thing that does confuse me is their outgoings. They've lost top scorer and top assister from last season, Ilian Niande. He's gone to Marseille, his boyhood club. They have got a pre-penny from it though, £17 million, and they've also signed one of their other best players last season, Sanderberg. And the thing that baffles me, he's gone to fellow newly promoted side Burnley. Like, if you're going to sell him abroad. Don't sell him to a team that could be within the same region of the table this year. I don't think Burnley will be, but they could be. Like, especially when they've been newly promoted. That's like going to war with somebody and giving your opponent your best unknown weapon. Like, Sanderberg was one of Sheffield United's most key assets last season, and they've just given them to another team that came up with them. Baffling. Overall though, I do think there will be a couple of gems there. It's just a case of Sheffield United don't have the major funds, hence why they've sold their two best players, getting, I think, the best part just over £30 million, and which I do think will be good. I think Gustavo Hamer, I do think, will be a very good signing for them. I'm not too aware of the others though. That Traore did impress me though. He did look like he could offer a lot of quality for Sheffield United. Obviously, Forest transfers are on screen now. I do speak about these weekly, so I'm not going to talk about it for too long. We've obviously signed Matt Turner, Ola Aina, and Anthony Elanga. They've all joined the club. Turner for about 8 million, Elanga for 15, and Aina on a free transfer. The only major departures, which I put on the graphic just for space reasons, the only major departures are, I would say, Jack Colback, Steve Cook, both departing on free transfers to QPR, and Sam Surridge has departed for the MLS. Those are the only major players that have left. You could make Yago and Andre Ayew, Dean Henderson, etc. Those contracts being expired, but the loan players weren't lost by our choice. Their loans expired. However, looking at my preferred lineup, I'm not going to say it is predicted because, quite frankly, this almost will not happen. But I've switched it up slightly. I'm going with the 4 at the back. So I'm going with Matt Turner in goal, a back 4 of Aina, Niakate because he was on the bench. I'm hoping that he can be fit for this game. Joe Worrell and Aurier. I've put Worrell instead of Bolly purely out of the facts of we yet to see Niakate and Bolly to my knowledge, and I'm very confident that we've seen Worrell and Niakate, and we want that leadership of Joe Worrell from the back as well. Into the midfield, I've gone with Danilo and Mangala. I was tempted to go Danilo and Yates, but I think that will be a very attacking midfield, especially if we're losing one defender. We're going to want one that's a bit more of a defensive-minded midfielder in Mangala. So, and to help neutralise those two Sheffield United attackers, we're probably going to need one midfielder that's going to need to sit a little bit deeper. And in attack, the main reason I've gone with the back 4 is so we can have this attack. Awoniyi leading the line with Elanga and Johnson on both wings and Gibbs White in behind. That's the reason I went with the back 4. Obviously, major reports of Brennan Johnson potentially leaving the club for West Ham now. So if he can't play, then maybe I would go to the 5 at the back and have Gibbs White, Elanga and Awoniyi leading the line. Or maybe add another midfielder, Ryan Yates, in, depending on what Cooper's thinking. I do think if I was to do a predicted lineup, it will be almost unchanged. I think he will start Awoniyi, and I think he will go with the back 5. I just think Sheffield United, newly promoted club, coming to our gaff, we need to be attacking them a bit more. And with how everyone performed against Arsenal, I think it just makes sense to play with that attack if possible. Now finally, for my score prediction, I'm confident based on that second half against Arsenal, and if Cooper gets the team selection and the tactics right, that is the main thing, the team selection. If he gets that wrong, then the game could maybe go slightly differently. However, if we go with my team or something very similar with that attack, then I do think we can get a result here. I'm going to go for Forest 3, Sheffield United 0. Maybe a little bit optimistic, I'm between 2 and 3-0. And for a bonus point for my self-esteem, the goal scorers, I think Awonyi is going to bag a brace, and Gibbs White is going to bag a goal as well, with Elanga and Johnson running Sheffield United ragged down the wings. I just think it just makes sense with how the second half went against Arsenal. We'd set up with almost that attack. I wouldn't have an issue with Johnson not starting, purely out of the fact of, other than that one chance he had, there wasn't any major quality opportunities that he did create, and Elanga created a lot of opportunities when he did come on. So I wouldn't have an issue with Johnson being dropped and maybe used as an impact sub. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But the team selection is crucial to how this game goes. My score prediction could go very differently when the team selection comes out on Friday at 6:45. But yes, that is my preview. If you want me to add anything to the preview, I will discuss form a bit more in detail after game week 5. That's when I can talk about the last 5 games, etc, etc. But thank you for watching. If there is anything else you want me to add, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you are in fact new to the channel, and if you never want to miss a video, turn on the notifications bell. Hoping there will be a review to this game. It probably will be on the Saturday and not the Friday night. But yeah, it just depends on how the game goes, etc, how my day goes. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.